Well, hello, Prospering on Purpose family. This is Kawauna, your lifestyle and wealth advisor. I am passionate about helping you to become educated, equipped, and empowered to succeed financially, and I'm so happy that you tuned in today to join us. I have well over a decade of experience within the insurance and financial services industry, and I also am a transformational life coach, and I am passionate to help you succeed. I want to welcome our guest that we actually have on the show today. This is going to be a phenomenal show, and it is titled, What is Your Relationship with Money? So before we actually bring our guest on, I just want to tell you a little bit about him. His name is Joseph Fountain. He is a father, an author, an entrepreneur, and a change agent. Joseph and I were actually colleagues for a few years, he and his wife Anna, and he is definitely a blessing and inspiration to many. So without further ado, I just want to welcome you, Joseph, to the show. Say hi to everybody, Joseph.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thank you so much, Kawauna. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you, and welcome you so much to the show. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I actually grew up in Richmond, Virginia. Grew up in Northside Richmond, Virginia. So if anybody knows where Northside Richmond, Virginia is, know that, it's kind of a rough area. So I grew up, in a household where, we didn't really have a lot, but we had a lot of faith. We had a lot of fun in the process. So growing up, I've always wanted to make some type of difference in my family, the normal thing, want to be successful and everything, and just had so many trials and tribulations along the way. I was able to get into school and have some success there, and then work as an engineer, get married, and I mean, my wife had 3 kids. Went through being laid off and was able to start a business, and here we are now where, things are moving pretty well. So God's definitely been faithful.
Absolutely. I could definitely understand that. I'm originally from Danville, Virginia, born and raised, and I'm a product of coming from humble beginnings, so I know all about working hard and, just trying to build that dream and go forward with what God has for you. Joseph, let me just ask you, what do you think is and has been your relationship with money?
My relationship with money, starting out, it was a hate relationship because, I never seen it. So, I heard about money, but every time I saw her come in, she was leaving out. So, starting out, my relationship with money it wasn't the best. But when you start to gain knowledge, especially in the financial area, start to learn things that you don't know and learn more about things that you already know, then it changes, and then you start to understand. And so the relationship with money that I have, it's great. I understand the purpose of what money is. I don't worship money. Mm-hmm. I understand money's going to come, money's going to go. But I understand something else, that, money also moves. So it never disappears. The money that's been here on earth, it's still here. It doesn't go anywhere. It just transfers. It's all it does is transfers. And so when you start to learn and understand that, you learn to respect money, especially if you work. You learn to respect the fact that you worked hard for the check that you got. And you don't just give every single dime away to bills. You start to understand that, you can actually take that money and start to do little teeny things, to kind of help yourself get into a better, situation. If you start to learn and start to, just grow a little bit in the area. Sometimes people are so afraid, to really, take a good look at their income, where they are, and start to learn about money. So a lot of times, they have that fear that kind of holds them back from having a better, financial, success or financial future.
Absolutely. How would you say that your faith plays in your finances?
Oh my God! Listen, it wasn't nothing but faith that helped me to gain some real finances. Like I said, I started out where money was not a commodity in our household. Like I said, we seen her come in and you seen her go right out. And even when I got older and I would get paid, I already seen the check coming in. I already knew every last dime was gone,
Right.
But my faith, see, the thing with faith doesn't work unless action is applied, And so a real quick story about, like, kind of weighs in on my faith with, when it concerns, money or income. Is, when I was growing up and I started working while I was in school, I actually worked for a trucking company called Essex. They're right here in Richmond. And I worked in the payroll department, and one of the manager, so payroll, name was August Morris, Audie. Audie was a talker, but Audie had a lot of sense, and he always used to say to me, always remember, it's not how much you make, it's how much you spend or how much you don't spend. I would hear that at least once a week, and it stuck with me, because a lot of times, I was looking forward to making a whole lot of money in order to make things better, but, you got to learn how to start where you are. And so my faith, was that, I would be able to change my situation from struggling all the time. And so that little principle played heavily in on me taking a walk into getting better. And so, I would just pray and ask God to lead me, into to making things better. It has to be a different way. And so, I would start to put my faith, where my feet is, and start walking and start moving. And I would go to the library, get free books on how to fix credit. I never really had credit because I didn't really have anything. So I would go get books like that, books from Warren Buffett, Susie Orman, a lot of people, names you haven't heard, and Google, like we're always on the computer. I started to Google those things. And so I would let my faith, lead me to a place to where, I could gain more knowledge. And from that, once you get on that path, it opens up another door. See, sometimes people want the door open, but they're not on the path. Faith without works is dead. So once you start taking those steps, right, everything else starts to fall into place. And so that's how my faith helped me,
Absolutely. Just like you said, faith without works is dead. We have to get our mind wrapped around focusing on abundance and not lack. I strongly feel like that God wants to bless us with more, but until you can prove to him that you can take care of what he already blessed you with, you're not going to be able to get that abundance. And I don't think that we were created to go with lack, So we have to get our mind wrapped around just focusing on abundance and having our faith and speak faith into our finances, just like we speak faith into our life. We have to believe in ourselves and know that we are equipped to have that discipline to save, that discipline to invest, that discipline to rebuild after adversity. We have to have just faith in ourselves. And, I strongly, my faith, if it wasn't for God, I don't know where I would be. I strongly believe that faith without works is dead. So we have to be empowered to not keep on telling the same old story with our plight, but just learn from where we are and then just go ahead and make it happen. So I would ask you, Joseph, how would you say the mindset plays in with you managing your money?
Oh, my God. Mindset is everything. So, we see people win the lottery. We see sports players. We see them make all this money. And then, like 10 years later, we hear stories about them being broke. It's a mindset. It's a discipline that wasn't created. It's something that wasn't learned. For someone to make millions of dollars, or someone to hit the lottery, get $50 million in 2 to 3 years. This is a real statistic. Most people that win the lottery within 3 to 5 years are back broke. It's because it's a mindset. Mindset is heavy. So you have to work on learning more. You gotta learn discipline. So sometimes when I'm talking to people about like something like investing, like I'll tell them something so it seems silly to them. I'll say start with $10, $20. Most people didn't know they could even invest, with that little bit of amount, But I would tell them to start with something small so they can create the habit, because once you create the habit, it's the habit that makes it all work. You can make as much money as you want, but if your mindset ain't together, ain't nothing happening. You're just constantly. I know a lot of people who have made millions, However, you can't find none of it. You can't find $50,000 anywhere. You can't find 10 because their mindset is bad.
You know what I call that? I call it the MC Hammer mentality. We have to be too legit to quit, for real. Like, we cannot afford to have that MC Hammer mentality, splurging, helping everybody, not helping ourselves, not investing, not having an accountant, looking over our finances. That's how all of the rappers and singers and different people end up landing in jail, because you're not being mindful of where your money is going.
Right. And
you have to be mindful of what's going on with your money.
Right. And here's another thing. Sometimes when we get stuck, so if a person is used to not having money or they don't have money, it's very easy for them to get into a place where they're used to not having money. Just like the person who has money, it becomes a habit and they get used to having money. And so sometimes our situations, so say like me and you, like when we talked about like coming out of a place to where money wasn't, around as much and we didn't have much of it, it's very easy that a situation can change for you. But because you still have a broke mentality or a victim mentality or a spending issue or whatever the case is, you're in a different place than you were where things are okay, but yet you still bring that same mindset into a new place. And those things just don't work. And so mindset is very key, in order to just start having that financial success. It just doesn't matter where you are. You can start where you are and have success. But if you can't get your mind into the place of saying, like, I can do this, or wanting a change, and sometimes you got to put your mind where you want to go way before you get there, in order to make things work for you.
Right. And then on the flip side of that, Joseph, I also feel mindset is key, but we also have some hurting people, some people who are still recovering from the first recession we just recently had. Hopefully we don't have another one. So we have to also be healthy. We have to be emotionally healthy. We have to be not just spiritually or, financially healthy. We have to be emotionally healthy, because a lot of times when we're not dealing with other issues that we have going on, it can drive us to spend. It can drive us to have spending addictions and compulsions and have issues with pride and not wanting to ask for help and just suffering unnecessarily. Issues with your shame that you're not dealing with yet. Issues with rejection because of failure. Losing a job is hard. And I can be the first to admit, I have lost a job. I have been laid off before. I know how it feels. And all that does is create a lot of fear in your life. And with fear, you can't operate like that. It creates a lot of shame. You have to face your family and still have to explain why bills can't be paid or almost possibly lose everything that you work for. So we have to wrap our heads around, we have to be healthy. We have to make a pledge to get healthy and stay healthy, and then also have our mind restored so that we can have the correct mindset.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very vital, just like what you're saying, like I alluded to, like I've been laid off, and after working your way up, you know how it is, you work hard, and then you get laid off. Like, what? And so
that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is, especially when you got a family, because then you gotta keep your faith up. You also gotta help them keep their faith up, And in situations like that, like just like you're saying, I know personally, like I didn't get depressed, but I was almost there. Like I was angry, but I had to really, like you're saying, I had to heal myself from the situation. And then I had to, kind of make fun of it, say, God just had a sense of humor. He must threw me off the cliff because I had wings, I just wasn't using, and look at the situation differently. And because a lot of times we get things like that. So like if anyone's ever been laid off, a lot of times what happens is we start to make our environment, we start to put that emotions, the mindset of just losing the job or not having income. We start to put those things into our environment in our home. And then it affects everybody, and then we're upset because now we can't get along, or everybody, it just brings a tense situation to where this is where you need to be your strongest. This is where prayer has to be, real prevalent in your life. This is where happiness has to be its strongest point, or you won't make it through. I've seen a lot of people go through that, and I've seen a lot of people lose their houses, lose their marriages, lose everything, and so it's very key that you do those things and you try your best. I'm not saying it's easy, but you try your best, give yourself an effort every single day, and then eventually become a habit. Do things that may not cost nothing. Like we would go out to the park and feed the ducks, or we take a little change and go get some ice cream, or red box it, or whatever it was. We do something, or drive around and look at houses. We would drive into to neighborhoods, really high-end neighborhoods, houses of $5-10 million, and just dream. And then go into the model home, and they're like, hey, you're interested in buying? Not yet. We just looking. We might be looking. We just in here. We'll take our time in there and record and just do things to help build our faith. Not saying that we wanted a house that big, but just do things, to help build your faith versus things that help feed your fear,
That's right. So because we have to constantly build our faith, we have to build our confidence back up. It's tough trying to rebound from adversity. And, whereas you said you may have gotten angry of the situation, I actually suffer from severe depression and anxiety, amongst other things. And I always would say, I hit rock bottom, but maybe I hit rock bottom and God knocked me down so that I could finally look up and look to Him.
Amen. Right.
And at the end of the day, we survived, So anybody listening, just understand we're coming from a place of transparency to let you know that you can survive, you can make it. Because I had some hard days, and at the end of the day, once I finally was able to just surrender and just give it to God, do what I can, and then let go of what I could not, I could just be okay with it. That's where peace could set in, When we're strong, we are survivors naturally. So, anybody that needs advice, the best advice is to just work on your emotional healing if you are suffering in that aspect, because until you can get emotional control, you won't be able to have control of your finances, because you won't be able to wrap your mind around being able to have that healthy relationship with your money. Just like we want to have a healthy relationship with our loved ones and with ourselves and with God, we have to be able to have a healthy relationship with money, and you can't do that if internally you're not healthy.
Right.
Absolutely. So another question I would just ask, that was a little deep over here, but going forward, what would you say your best advice would be for people looking to get out of debt? Because many times we tell them, get out of debt, this will help you, but we need to understand the how and realistic steps and principles that's going to take us to the how to empower us to get out of debt. What would you say your best advice is to get started with getting out of debt right now?
Right. Well, the first thing, and I'll say from experience, even though I didn't necessarily have crazy debt, but I had things that were just held against me prior to us buying our house, and I started to learn about investments. During that whole time, I went through a complete transition. And the first thing that I did is I prayed, and I said, God, just help me, show me the way. But then I started to search out advice or search that out. So say, for example, how to get out of debt. I would go to the library, like I said, or Google how to get out of debt, and I would start acquiring information. Then I would do, the reality check. I'd take a look at my situation. I answer the phone from the bill collector that was calling me, and I say, hey, yeah, I don't have the money, but can y'all do me a favor? Can y'all send me another letter so I can see exactly what it is I need to do? Because I need to see, so if I'm going to, solve a problem, I need to see it, so I need to see exactly what am I facing, what I have to get out of. So I just use a little composition notebook, that I got from the dollar store, and I started writing down all of my debts that I have. My wife, she comes from a different, scope when it concerns finances, and and family. So she really didn't have much. We had just gotten married when I started doing this. And so, but I wrote down everything. And I didn't look at everything as it's going to happen today. I wanted that lottery number to come in or something so I could just get rid of it. But I said to myself, okay, this is now. I'm going to give myself, a year to do this, that, and the other, whatever. Just understand that it takes time, and don't be afraid of the journey, the process. So I wrote down every little thing that I owed. I took a good look at it, and some stuff looked like impossible or whatever, and some stuff, it was simple. And so I ordered everything from, least to greatest, So then what I did is, me and my wife, we agreed, we're not going to go out much. Not worried about trying to keep up with no Joneses. We're going to work on this goal so that we can get a house in, a couple of years after, we had just got married. And so I started with the smallest stuff. Some things I owed like $23 on or $52 on. And whereas that leisure money would go to going out or buying something or, whatever it was, I would start allocating that to paying the bill or paying half of the bill, like when it was small. So I would take the small things out first. And then then that way, because what a lot of people try to do is they'll try to take, a check and try to put something on all these bills. I'm not talking about the stuff that has to do with your house, like the electricity, the water, or, things like that. But like things that don't have anything to do with your house, it can be like school loans, car loans. Well, car I include in the house. You need it. If you have a car, you probably need it. But like, an old Verizon bill loan or, because prior to us getting married, like I had a place and I got kicked out. So I had I lost that place. So I had a old debt from, back rent or whatever I didn't pay and, and stuff like that, or old Comcast bill and an old loan bill or something from I was like 20 or, stuff like that. And so sometimes people try to pay every little thing. Well, I'm going to take this check and put this on that and this on. No. So what I did is I would start with one and just work my way down and chop it down, It's like they say, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so I would take my time in doing that. In the same instance, I had gotten my credit reports and everything to see if there was anything else extra on there. And every time that I would pay something off, I would ask them to send me a letter showing it's paid off. I'd copy it, 3 times, and I'd do a letter and send to the credit bureaus saying that this is paid off. Even if they already took it off or they've been reported, whatever, I'd send it myself. So I did that every single time. And just took my time and understand it's a process, and in doing that one bite at a time, next thing you know, you get down to like where it's the end of the list and you have just one big bill to worry about. So now you can easily go into a payment plan by calling, the place. When you call a place and let them know you have an interest in really getting this done. Some places let you make very low payments, versus running away from it. They let you make very low payments, and that's what I did. But then when that tax money came in, we weren't concerned about getting no TVs, no shoes, or nothing. We said we're going to save this amount, and then we're going to take this chunk, and we're going to pay this. And in doing that, when we got the house, like we had just like one of the cars that wasn't paid off. That was it. But then after we got the house, we paid that off in like another 3 months. So just taking the time, and that's over the course of like 2 years of just planning. So the best way to do it is just assessing your situation and start being smart, about everything.
Absolutely. And you definitely have to be intentional with planning and preparation. Can't just be stuck with the lack mindset and just stuck in and being crippled with fear and not wanting to just confront the situation. I can remember a time in my life where I would not answer my phone. I would not answer my phone. I knew it was multiple collectors calling. I wouldn't open my mail. I wouldn't even check the mailbox. I would not open the mail. I did not want to confront reality. Especially like you said, after building yourself up and working so hard, priding yourself on your credit, and then losing everything just because you simply don't have the money to, restore your good name, your credit score just plummets. So I would not look at my credit report. I wasn't really paying attention to the money that I had in my account and things like that. So going forward, you have to face your fears. You have to own up and be empowered to actually answer the phone, because debt collectors and different people like student loans, your mortgage, they really want to work with you. But for some reason, we run from them, and we're so embedded in our own fear and our own issues of just being stuck, that we don't realize that they really want to work with you. And it's been a lot of laws, in places, especially with the housing market, where they want to help you stay in your home. They don't want to foreclose on your home. So you have to be proactive, not just reactive and stuck in being fearful, but you have to be proactive in just facing reality and just dealing with it. And just like you said earlier, you didn't get into debt overnight. So what makes you think that you're going to come out of debt overnight? You have to start somewhere, and just piece by piece, if you even just pull your credit report and just challenge any type of discrepancies on there, or we call it a snowball effect. You look at the smallest debts that you can pay off first and then work your way up to the higher debts. Mm-hmm. And then you speak with the creditors. You have to learn the art of negotiation. If you can negotiate, let them know that you are willing to pay, and be honest with what you can afford. Don't worry about what the total amount is, because I'm somebody who, when I had means, I got myself out of $20,000 worth of debt and only really paid $9,500 at the end of the day. And that was just the art of negotiation. And if they can't help you, ask to speak to a supervisor. Keep on being persistent with the fact that you are trying to own up to the debt that you have. Because at the end of the day, collections agencies, they've bought that debt from someone else. They've bought your debt for pennies on the dollar. So anything that you're willing to give them beyond the pennies on the dollar amount is profit for them. They would rather get something than nothing.
Exactly.
So they are going to work with you. And it goes back to faith. You have to have faith and confidence in yourself, that as long as you know your stuff, then the universe is going to align with your favor. It's going to come in alignment with your favor. I did want to give a resource of a site that I used to use, and I still use it. I like it. It has changed from time to time, but I would like you all to check it out. And it's called www.ihatedebt.com. This is what actually helped me while I was in the process of rebuilding my credit to get my first house, and just learning how to challenge discrepancies on my credit report. They had templates. They have templates and letters that you can actually send to collection agencies to get them to cease and desist. You can learn all about the statute of limitations based off of your state. Knowledge is power. We have to be empowered and knowledgeable enough to know what we're up against, because they're betting on us not knowing. They're betting on us to be fearful and not doing what we're supposed to be doing, so that they can go in and, put all these things on our credit and just mess us up all the way. So as long as you're knowledgeable about it and just being proactive, just check that resource out. Once again, it's www.ihatedebt.com. There's plenty of things that you can go on there and be educated about. You can print out. You can start with that today. And also, I would like to just challenge everybody, to go back maybe the last 3 months and look at your bank statements. See exactly what you've been spending your money on. Have you been overeating, like going out to eat too much? Have you been spending, a lot of money on entertaining yourself? Where is your money going? Are you giving your money away, loaning it to everybody? Who are you making loans to? Is it even worth it? Are you going to be able to get that money back? So if we're being mindful to actually see where our money is going, and then can, actually go back and just go back and just, shrink ourselves from spending so much money in that area, that's what you're going to be able to use to put towards your debt.
Exactly.
But it starts with you. It starts with looking at your habits, and then, just going back in there and then saying, okay, I have this amount of money and I've been doing this and I'm doing this. where can I just shrink back at from my spending? And then once you're able to do that, just start saving that money and working your way on paying that debt off. And make sure that even with credit cards, you're paying on time, every month that is due, and you're not only paying the minimum because you get caught up with the interest rates and things like that, and you're not using any more than a third of that credit card, at least a third maximum, based off of the debt-to-income ratio that you have. So, Joseph, I also know that you really enjoy investing these days.
Oh, yeah.
And how do you get started with that? Because I'm interested in going forward, not only learning how to make money and have money, but I want to know how to grow my money going forward so that I can build some of this legacy wealth that we always talk about.
Right. Sure, yeah. Money it can be used as a seed, just like anything. If you get an apple has a seed. If you want more apples, then you plant the seed, and that seed gets more apples. So with money, it's synonymous in the same way. And so investing, a lot of times people are very fearful of investing. They watch the media, the news. Okay, so first of all, the news, they're designed, it's to be manipulative. Okay, it's to bring fear and drama, because those are things that gives the highest ratings. So it's a control thing with the media. It's a whole other story. But the media will make investing or talk about the stock market or the things like that where they make it seem like you should be afraid of it. And so what people do is they back off and they fear, well, I don't want to lose all my money. And you can't lose all your money. If you just learn a few things, you can learn a lot. So a lot of times people have that fear because of what they've been told about investing or what they've heard about investing. A lot of times people think you need a lot of money to invest. And so for me personally, I didn't know anything about investing. I watched my grandparents, do some investing with Dominion Power, because Dominion Power has a program where you can pay extra money on your bill. And they did that. They actually ended up doubling their money and got scared and pulled their money out. I had no clue what they were doing, but my grandma would ask me to read the newspaper to find this ticker symbol, Dom Rex, let me know the arrows up or down, all this other stuff. I had no clue what it was. And I would hear my mom always talk about it. But every time she would sit down with a financial investor, they would say, you don't have enough money to do it. And so growing up, my thought was you had to have a lot of money too, just like most people. And I didn't know anything about it. I thought the stuff you would see on CNBC would look like hieroglyphics. It was in another language, but that's a gauge in our economy, and even some of the international economy. It's a big gauge. And so the thing is about investing is understand you can start wherever you are. And so what happened with me was I learned how to invest I had a friend who, here's the real story. I'll make it short. So we were at church, and I have a friend who's very good with numbers, and my pastor had made mention to him. This was years ago now, before HGTV is what it was. He said, you need to start finding out how or what you need to do to invest in HGTV. I think it's going to be big. Now, it was me, him, and two other guys. We all used to meet like after work trying to talk about different business ideas, trying to come up with something. And so when our pastor told him that, he had to know it all about investing, but he really wasn't interested. So he came back to us with some bogus number like, we all going to need like $1,500. We're like, who got that? We ain't got no money. So not that type of money. We could do like $25, but no, it's not enough. So it kind of irritated me. And one of my friends, so we started studying. And we came across different programs and different brokerage accounts where you can purchase stock, invest in mutual funds yourself. One in particular is really good. I still use it. I don't get paid to say this, but it's Capital One Investing or Share Builder. And that was my first brokerage account. And they allowed me to do like $20, $30. And I think my first investments were Sirius Satellite. I don't have that anymore, but Sirius Satellite, Microsoft, and I think JetBlue. Those were first. It was like $30 that I put in, and so what I did is I started to learn. Like I said, you make your resources, they're very simple. You don't have to pay anything. You on the computer all the time. Instead of, looking for the 15-second videos, just Google some stuff and start to learn. I would watch CNBC until I understood it. I was brutal. My wife would tell you, I would go to the library. Like I said, I would get books. So I'd educate myself, and I would ask people who had knowledge of it. There was a gentleman named Pete that made $40,000 a year, and he was worth $1.5 million. And every time I came to the gym, I would talk to Pete for 20 minutes. So, Pete, how are you able to become, worth $1.5 million? And he was talking about investing and stocks. So he'd always have some little tip to give me. So I use every resource. But it doesn't matter where you are. You can start with $5, $10 to start investing. The goal is you have to get the discipline and the habit of that, because it doesn't matter if it's $1 or if it's $10,000. But if you don't have the habit, you won't succeed, your finances. And so I do recommend, Capital One investing, share builder, because, some shares and companies are like $100 a share. You may not have $100. Well, with share builder, once you put like $20 in, whatever that $20 gives you of a share, like if it's, a fifth of a share, then you'll own a fifth of a share, meaning it gains you access. Most brokerage accounts don't do that. Now they have a lot of apps on your phone, like Stash, Invest, and all these different things that you can use to start investing. And so what I recommend people do is to start, where you are. Start Googling, start learning. It's very simple. And so a lot of times people know what to invest in. Well, it's very simple. Everything that you see today, a lot of things that you do all the time. For example, with some of my grandparents and Dominion Power. If you live in Virginia, that's who you pay your electric bill to, Dominion Power. Well, you can invest in Dominion Power. It's something that's not going nowhere. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy or risky. It can be Walmart. It can be Visa. It can be Disney. All these different things you can invest in, and your money is going to make money for you because they have this thing called dividends. And dividends pays a profit share every quarter. Might be 5 or 10 cents per share to an individual who has a share. Well, how many shares you got, that's how much of dividends you're going to get. So if you have 10 shares and the dividend is 10 cents, you're going to get 10 cents times 10 shares, and you let it reinvest itself. As well as over the long haul, everything goes up. No matter how much the stock market goes down, everything goes up. Over time it does. So if you look back 20 years, things were less expensive. We had our grandparents talking about buying bread at 5 and 10 cents. Well, how much is it now? So over the long haul, things always increase. So don't get afraid when you see the stock market going up and down. It always points up because that's just our economy evolving. So it's no fear. So, and if anybody needed any help or assistance, need to talk, you're welcome to contact me as well. I don't charge anything for helping people learn how to invest. And I have no motives except helping people learn like I've learned. Because I'm a little boy that grew up in Highland Park, and the stuff I talk about investing, most people wouldn't know I knew it. And so it's very simple. It's nothing to fear. You can invest in anything. But like I said, you can start where you are and be comfortable with that. And just know that when you get used to the habit of taking $10 or $20 dollars and investing in one company or investing in a mutual fund or something, and just doing that every single month or every single week, you'll find yourself in a better place just from those habits alone.
Absolutely. And we are so thankful and blessed for you because it's one thing to just tell us what to do, but even to be willing to show us one-on-one what to do at no charge, that's a blessing. So a little bit later in the show, we will give you an opportunity to let people know how they can stay in touch with you, Joseph, and be empowered to invest. We have to be empowered to invest in ourselves, take back control of our finances. And, we have to just be about it instead of just talking about it. And in order to do that, just like you said, with having discipline, we also have to know how to build the principles of our character as we go. And for me, My character has been tested. I've had many character building opportunities over the last few years that I'm blessed for. But I can say, through God, through prayer, through learning the act of mindfulness, having my strength and owning my strength, actually, it made me be a resilient person from working on my health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, my financial health and well-being, my physical health. Having order in my life finally, because, you can mess some stuff up if you're not organized. So you have to have order. You have to have some systems in place where, because you may not remember everything, where you are being mindful of your finances and mindful of what you're doing. You may have to look into learn how to time block or take a designated day. For me, it's Mondays. On Mondays, I love to pay bills. I love to organize stuff. I actually open my mail now, y'all. I open my mail. I answer phones. I return phone calls. I make phone calls. I'm empowered to make phone calls these days. So I handle all my personal affairs on Mondays. And it just works for me, but you cannot just stop learning. You always have to learn. You have to be willing to learn and just think outside of the box. We have to learn how to make money, how to have multiple streams of income to get more money, how to manage our money, how to invest and keep our money, and how to build and grow and have these family legacies that we want to have in place for our loved ones. So we have to always be willing to learn. We have to always be willing to be receptive for improvement and to just simply get in the habit of doing research for ourselves. You can just start by subscribing to money-related magazines, watching TV shows. I love Susie Orman. Just like you mentioned, I love talking about money. It was another lady, African-American lady named Michelle Singletary. I love looking at her stuff. You can go on YouTube, and just look at a lot of different seminars and trainings, but we have to get into the habit that we're always learning. It's not sufficient enough in this day and time to just say, I didn't know. I don't know no better.
Exactly.
Because if you don't know no better, how are you going to do any better? We can't just keep saying, oh, I'm oppressed, or I got all this opposition against me, when it's the resources, the tools. We have people that are blessed to help us for free, training, all types of things that can better our lives. It's just that we have to take back control of our finances, get past ourselves, and be empowered to do better.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Absolutely. So I'm just so excited. I'm thankful this series, because, when we start talking about money,
it's
you start thinking about a whole lot of stuff. Money can make you excited. Money can make you get all riled up. It can make you start thinking about what you should have did with that money, what you shouldn't have did with that money, what you can do with it. And I'm just so excited with these series. Kanye West said it best. Having money isn't everything, but not having it is. We have to remember, money is neither good nor bad. It's neither evil or a blessing. It is what we do with it.
It's a tool.
We have to be able to be empowered to use our money for the right reasons.
That's right.
I love music, hip-hop culture. And, just like how Beyonce has her song Formation out, we need to get in formation with our finances. Seriously.
Right.
I love how at the end of her song she says, always stay gracious. Best revenge is your paper. But I like to say, always stay prayed up. Best revenge is your favor.
Oh, son, I like that.
Without God, we have nothing. So when we're searching to fill all these voids by buying all these materialistic things that we think are going to make our lives better, we really need to look to the Creator first and let Him guide us. And we can never, we can't lose sight of that. We cannot lose sight of that. So thank you all for joining us. We're just going to wrap it up. We just have one more question for Mr. Joseph. He's given us all of these golden nuggets today. But, Joseph, what would you say is the first step for us to start investing in ourselves right now?
The first step to start investing in yourself is, have some faith and believe in yourself. What's the first step? A lot of times we want to do so much stuff, but we just don't believe You got to believe in order to achieve. It's a foundation thing, right? So if you don't believe, you're not going to put in the work, you're not going to get the results. So what if you do believe? That's going to cause you to do certain actions that cause you to bring certain results. Because no matter where you are, you got to learn to be happy where you are. A lot of times in our head we think, oh, I'll be happy when I get to this place. So let me tell you, if you think there's a finish line, and concerns like us going for success or financial freedom, there is no finish line. There's just new levels of success, new levels that you reach, and then you go on to the next. So you're going to have to learn how to be happy wherever you are, because once you get to a place and that makes you happy, the next day you won't be happy and you'll be empty because you're waiting for this one day versus learning how to be happy. If you can be happy where you are and happy where you are, whether it's with or without now, then when things start to really come together, and just imagine the quality of life you have. And so you got to start believing in yourself. Believe in yourself. Start being happy where you are. I don't care what it looks like. Like you just heard me and Kawauna talk about our situation a little bit. Listen, no matter where you are, just start getting the process to believe in yourself and be happy wherever you are. Learn to have fun. Learn to have joy. And then you will enjoy the process, because the process is not an overnight process. Even though no matter where you are in life, you're always right on the other side of the wall. It's always a change. It's always there. It just might be a year. It just might be a few months. No matter what it is, you got to learn to be happy where you are. And once you can do that and you can believe in yourself, then that makes the rest of the process a lot more simple. I'm not going to say easy, but simple, because you have the happiness. So if you're going through a lot, it just doesn't – I understand. It can hurt sometimes. But why go through and be sad and down at the same time? Get some joy in your life, and believe in yourself and say, I know what it looks like today, but soon it's not going to look like that. Whether you start doing vision boards, whether you start to listen to positive things, going into places you can't afford just to be in the atmosphere, whatever it is you got to do to change your mind, do it. So that way that you can actually walk that journey out, because you're going to need that mindset all the way through. You're going to need that mindset to carry you from where you are to the next level, and then from that level to the next level. And then the great thing about that is you'll be able to turn around and you'll be able to tell someone, let me show you how I did it too, because I was where you are. And then that's the greatest thing. Like they say, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. But here's the thing that they don't know. Once you teach somebody how to fish, they can actually turn around and teach somebody else how to fish also. So believe in yourself and be happy and just find some joy and understand that what it looks like today doesn't mean it's going to always be that way.
That's right. Happiness is a choice. Live in abundance. God didn't create us to just live in lack and have a lack mindset and, always have all this unnecessary pain.
Right.
Choose to be happy, and be okay with if you only get 3 things accomplished in one day, that's okay. As long as you started somewhere. Success lies in your routine. Work on 3 tasks a day that you can do to better your life and better your finances. And then go to sleep happy. Go to sleep with being okay, not feeling like you're inadequate or you didn't accomplish this big unrealistic checklist that you created for yourself. 3 tasks a day. Make it easy. Live in simplicity. Try to get savvy. Try to cut back on some spending and save some money. And own up to your mess and be willing to face your reality. Once you're able to do that, I guarantee you the happiness will come back. And if you're already happy, kudos to you. Stay happy. Try to empower somebody else to do what you're doing so that they can see how easy it is how easy it is to just choose to be happy is what I'm trying to say. So, man. Joseph, we just want to, thank you so much for getting on the show. Do you have anything that's coming up in the near future that we can support you on, or just let us know how we can connect with you and get a little bit more of Joseph Fountain.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. We're actually working on several things. We have a tour with one of my good friends, Elijah Morgano, where we're going around, and it's in different cities and states, just empowering the community. And we're really targeting the middle class to help the middle class cope. Just kind of what you're saying about the economy and everything. I've been a product of that, of when things went south, and that's called the Equalizer Tour. We're working on a program for the men, for men, helping men to just be better men, or just understand a little bit more, because there's a lot of conversations that men don't have with fathers or with other men. And when we grow up, those things kind of hurt us. And so we're working on those things, and even a money management seminar, which of all of these are things that, as far as attending, that's free and things of that nature. But you can reach me you go to josephfountain.com. Once you go to josephfountain.com, there'll be a contact tab. You just click that contact tab, and you can just fill in your information. And it just comes to my email, and so that way we communicate. And there you go.
All right, fantastic.
But
well,
before we go,
I'm sorry.
Let me just say thank you, Kawauna. It's been a pleasure knowing you. You're an awesome woman who has a big heart for people. So, you guys stay connected to her. She really has a heart for just seeing people succeed. From her own struggles and things of that nature. She just really loves what she does, and so she's a phenomenal young lady, and I've known her for a couple of years now, and I tell you, it's just a blessing. Anytime we talk, it's like this. We can be on the phone for a while. So, but she's an awesome woman, and I definitely appreciate you. So, thank you so much for having me on the call.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yes, I am definitely passionate about helping other people succeed, and that's my gift and my calling, and I will always be appreciative whenever I can make an impact in the lives of other people. I do want to let everybody know to be sure to just connect with me also. You can reach me on Facebook by just searching Kawauna McElroy, or liking my Facebook page, Kawauna Divine Purpose McElroy. Also, you can reach me on YouTube, Divine Purpose TV. So go ahead and subscribe there. I love to stay connected with you. If you ever have any questions or anything, any type of topics that you like for us to talk about on the show, feel free to just shoot me an inbox message, and I'll be more than happy to just reach out there and stay connected with you. I just want to say, never stop praying, never stop building, and never stop slaying. Thank you so much for joining us today with Prospering on Purpose with Kawauna, and I will see you next week. Have a blessed day.